Good morning. Thank you for joining our Sunday service for April 17th, 2022. We'll begin our service with ringing of kansho, followed by sutra chanting of Junirai. Then the Dharma School second and third grade class will lead us in reading the Golden Chain. Then we will have a talk from Minister's Assistant Devon Matsumoto. Then we'll close our service. Thank you for joining us today.
The Golden Chain by the second and third grade class. I am a link in the Buddhist golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. Knowing that my actions will result in not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also the happiness and unhappiness of others as well. May every link in the Buddhist golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Please join us in kansho. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 The golden chain.
Please join me in kansho. Shanti, patience. I will be patient and understanding. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone has had a fun or relaxing week. It's been a pretty long week for me. I have been in a work training for the past 3 days. That was from 9 to 5 each day. I know that sounds like a regular work day, but this training was very, very in-depth and also required a lot of emotional vulnerability to be a part of the training for work because it dealt with us bringing in our own experiences into working with the kids I work with and also understanding the experiences they're going through. So it was a pretty tough training, a very long training. And on top of that, I've been taking care of my girlfriend or my partner's cats. Their names are Chibi and Momo. You just saw Chibi walk across the screen here on my Zoom. I thought about, restarting, but I think I'm gonna keep going with all the chaos with Chibi and Momo running around. You might see them again if they run across my screen. And the reason why I wanted to keep going and, have Chibi and Momo in the Zoom or in my recording, if they do show up, is because my Dharma talk today, I wanted to sort of talk about Chibi and Momo, my girlfriend's cats, because they, to me, have, been teaching me patience these past few weeks. And so the quote I led this Dharma talk with, Shanti, patience, I will be patient and understanding. That comes from the 6 Paramitas, which is also in our service books or our Seiten, and hopefully we'll be able to come back so we can read the Seiten or read the service books and see what's in them. But you may also recognize, dana, giving, or sila, discipline, and the other 6 paramitas that I'm not going to name because I kind of forgot them, but that's okay. But yeah, so I wanted to talk today about Shanti, patience, because this past week for me has been a lot of patience and or learning how to be patient with a lot of different things. And I wanted to reflect on how, as Buddhists, patience is a really big part of our teachings and a very big part of our lives. And I also apologize because you might hear Chibi and Momo running around in the background because it's their time to play right now. They really love playing at right at the time I'm trying to do stuff. But yeah, so the reason why Chibi and Momo have been such a big, part of my life right now, or part of teaching me how to be patient, is because I have been taking care of them by myself for the past week now. Because my partner, Corey, she is in Chicago right now, visiting her friends. And she wanted me to take care of them while she was gone. And so I'm here taking care of them, doing my best. But there is a lot of things I've had to learn because, taking care of cats for me is something new. I only had a dog at home, but that's Maddie's dog, Miso, and Maddie would take care of Miso when I lived there. So I haven't really taken care of any sort of animals on my own. So this has been a pretty interesting experience. And I think cats are a lot different. For any of you that have cats, let me know if your cat sounds very familiar or very different. But yeah, so let me sort of walk you through the past few days of me taking care of Chibi and Momo. And if you see me like glancing around, it's because they're still around here making a lot of noise, playing with each other. I could put them in the room, but they're just gonna fight with each other, and they don't like being put in the room and having the door closed on them. So hopefully that's okay with you all. I apologize if not, but yeah. So anyways, the Chibi and Momo have been super fun, but there was one night where they were up at like 2 in the morning playing, running around, meowing at each other, hissing at each other, playing with all their toys, playing with all the stuff in the kitchen, playing with the stuff that is on our dining room table, and playing with the stuff that's on the coffee table, and knocking things over, knocking my partner's makeup bags over, playing with them. And so meanwhile, I'm just trying to, get a good night's rest, get a good night's sleep to prepare for my training in the morning. And I'm here trying to sleep while at the same time Chiba and Momo are trying to play and have fun, but they're being super, super loud. And it was really, really annoying. And I would wake up and I'd be like, Chibi, Momo, shut up. And then, try and go back to sleep, even though they kept playing. And so eventually I was able to fall back asleep. But then, a couple hours later, I hear Chibi trying to play or do something. I don't know what he was doing. He was doing something in the litter box where he was using his paw to like claw at the litter box and hit it really hard with his paw. And I think this was his sign of wanting me to clean out his litter box at 4 in the morning, because he likes to go in a clean, unpooped or peed in litter box. And so he was doing this for about 15 minutes because I was trying to sleep through it, but I eventually gave in. Maybe it wasn't 15 minutes. I was probably like more like 5 seconds because it was just really annoying. So I woke up, I cleaned out his litter box, and then I tried to go back to sleep. And so that was at like 4 o'clock in the morning. But I was also up a little bit earlier than that, trying to fall asleep again, or before that, trying to fall asleep because they were playing. And then I also had to wake up at 7 because I had my training I had to go to in Santa Clara, but I'm staying in San Jose. So it was about a 20-minute drive, I think. So I had to be there a little bit early. And then that training went all day, so from 9 to 5. And I know that sounds like a regular work day, but it was a pretty intense training for 3 days. And there wasn't really any breaks. Obviously, we get that 1 hour lunch break, but we were still sort of like talking about the training then. So it didn't really feel like we had any sort of breaks for those past 3 days. And then I would come back home, after the training, super exhausted, and would have to, feed Chibi and Momo, and then, make sure that they were okay because they hadn't been around me the whole day, because they're quarantine cats, they're pandemic cats. And what I mean by that is that Corey got them when they were just babies, and she got them right at the beginning of the pandemic. So Chibi and Momo stayed at her parents' house the whole time, and the whole time everyone was home. So Chibi and Momo have just been used to having a human with them 24/7, with them to take care of their needs, and just make sure that they're waited on forever. And so I sort of worry when I go out because I think that, you know, they're gonna miss me or they're gonna miss Corey. So I'm always worrying when I'm away. And I'm also worried because sometimes they'll go through the trash, because we have a few trash cans out that are like little like trash bins for like the living room. And they'll go through it and they'll like make a mess and they'll bring their trash like to different parts of the room and just like make a mess while I'm gone. So I'm also stressing about the mess I have to come home to. And then the other thing is when I'm, you know, relaxing, watching TV or trying to do some homework for IBS, Chibi will want to suckle or come and cuddle with me because he needs to suckle, which is like the equivalent of like sucking your thumb for a baby, but it's where cats sort of like want to like knead or suck on your shirt. Really weird. I don't know why. I think it's because he was like weaned or not weaned enough when he was a baby. But yeah. So for any of you parents out there of cats or dogs or anything like that, let me know if this sounds familiar. Or any parents out there of kids, like I feel like this is something that you all go through on a daily basis. And so I definitely have come to be very appreciative of my parents after having to deal with these two cats for a week. And so I can only imagine how a little baby Devon would be when I was little. But yeah, and so these past few days have been very, very, you know, strenuous for me and very eye-opening into, you know, the world of, you know, taking care of cats, and also like having to do other things, right, that aren't related to taking care of the cats, you know, going out with my friends, going to coach the basketball team I coach, having like day-to-day responsibilities other than the cats, and also going to work and trying to take care of all of them together. And a lot of times I found myself becoming very, very impatient with Chibi and Momo. When they would want to, you know, be fed at an earlier time than I was planning on feeding them, I would get really frustrated and really angry because I was trying to enjoy, you know, not having to do anything because I just got off of work. Or I just got back from coaching basketball, or I just got back from hanging out with some friends and I wanted to sort of relax. And then Chibi and Momo would come up to me and want attention. And so I'd get really annoyed or really frustrated. And so, or, you know, when I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I would become really frustrated with Chibi and Momo, you know, trying to wake me up and trying to, you know, get what they wanted me to do and get it done right away. And so a lot of like this frustration and anger, I felt, you know, arising in me. I wanted to take out on them by, you know, yelling at them, being like, Chibi and Momo, like, shut up, I'm trying to sleep, go to bed, like, stop doing that. It's not time to eat yet. You'll eat when I'm ready. And just sort of reacting like that. And a few times I definitely did react like that. And I think that, you know, as I was like going through those motions of, you know, reacting in that way, I sort of remembered this phrase of the six paramitas, shanti, patience. I will be patient and understanding. And even though it's just like a small little like one sentence line, I think for me it really says a lot about, you know, how to apply this in many different situations. To be patient, I think from a Buddhist perspective, is to sort of take a step back from the situation, take a step back from what is going on, and try to understand what is going on. Why are Chibi and Momo wanting me to clean their litter box at 4 o'clock in the morning? Why are Chibi and Momo wanting me to, you know, feed them at, you know, 6 o'clock when I just got back home from dinner, right? Instead of reacting in the way I wanted to react, which is like, be quiet, I'm trying to sleep, or I'm eating too, I need dinner. Um, the the Shanti, or the six paramitas, or the Shanti patience, told me or taught me to, take a step back, try to understand it from a different perspective, try not to be so egocentric, and really think of myself first, and instead think of how Chibe Momo must have been feeling too, right? Um, and so one part of the story I left out of why Chibi and Momo were probably, making so much noise about their litter box is because I made the decision not to clean their litter box the night before, because I was like, oh, I'm tired. I don't really want to clean the litter box. There's not a lot of litter in there, so I'll just clean it tomorrow when there's a little bit more, and that way I'll have to like not do as much work. And so that part is a pretty big part, I think, of the story that I left out on purpose, right? Because as I was reflecting at 4 o'clock in the morning of, why is Chibi, meowing so loud and banging on the litter box so loud, it was really because I neglected to, take care of their bathroom, right? I neglected to clean up their litter box when I should have done it that night, and made it like clean for them, right? Because, I just imagine if I were in their spot or in their position, right? If any of you have been to like a porta potty at like a fair, or the porta potty I remember this porta potty vividly off of 101, right after Gilroy, right before you hit Morgan Hill. And it's by the garlic stand, and I had to go to the bathroom really bad. And I went in there, and it was probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And so I just imagined that. That's probably how Chibi felt when he walked in to his litter box, right? Expecting his litter box to be clean. He walked into a porta potty that hadn't been cleaned, right, in a day. And so he wanted it to be clean for him, right, when he wants to use it. And so I wasn't able to, or I didn't do my job in cleaning his litter box for him. And so that was probably why. I obviously don't know for sure, but I think that is a big reason why he was making so much noise in the morning. And so by taking that step back, and really like trying to be patient, trying to be understanding, trying to do my best to understand and reflect on the situation, it made me realize that, maybe, I should be more mad or upset with myself for not cleaning up his litter box and not doing, taking my responsibility for cleaning out his litter box. And so maybe if I had cleaned out the litter box, Chibi wouldn't have, woken me up at 4 a.m. to have me clean out the litter box. And so I think, again, coming back to being or understanding Shanti as being patient and understanding, it is more than just, taking a step back and waiting, right? There's a little bit more to it than just waiting and being patient and not wanting to like do certain things. I think patience comes with reflection, and patience and being reflective is a part of Shanti, or is a part of the 6 paramitas. Because we can be, if we are just a little bit patient and we don't reflect on what we do, I don't think, as Buddhists, it doesn't really help us when we are just doing things through the motions, going through the motions. An example of this could be, another example is when I coach basketball, right? Where, we ask, or I ask my kids to be patient with running the plays. because if we do it too fast, we may not get it done right. If we do it too slow, it definitely isn't being done right. And so when I ask them to be patient with the play or be patient with each other, that doesn't really hit home for them because they're wondering why, or what does being patient for them have to do with the play? What does that have to do with the play, right? And so when I add in that reflective piece of asking them, why do you think we are doing this? Why do you think we are being patient? How do you think your teammate feels when you aren't in the right spot at the right time because you're either going too fast or too slow, right? When we add in the reflective part of being patient and understanding, I think that is, what adds to our lives and what adds to the Buddhist teachings. And so for me, Shanti isn't just being patient. Shanti is being patient and reflective, being able to reflect on the different experiences that we are going through, being able to take a step back and try to see the full picture, see, all the different moving parts that we're able to see, look at all the different perspectives, and really take it all in. And so for me, again, Shanti is to be patient, it's to be reflective, it's to take in everything and, try to see things as they truly are. And that is, to me, a very Buddhist teaching in the six paramitas, in Shanti, in patience. And so I hope, for myself, I can continue to be patient with the cats, with Chibi and Momo, and hopefully they'll be patient with me when I come home grumpy, or when I come home tired or sad or angry with what was going on in the day. And I hope that, as cats, they can maybe understand where I'm coming from, even though, they might speak a different language than me. And as me, as their caretaker or as their human, hopefully I can be more patient with them as they are, just being cats, and also understanding that a lot of the stuff that I'm angry with, it's because of what I'm doing, because I have been neglecting some stuff of taking care of them. And so again, Shanti is more than just being patient. Shanti is to be reflective as well and to see the full picture. And so in closing, please join me in Gassho. Shanti, patience. I will be patient and understanding. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu.
Thank you, Devon, for your talk today. For those of you who are watching this as part of our Sunday morning watch parties, please stay in the Zoom meeting. Afterwards, we will have new member introductions for the Mountain View Buddhist Temple, as well as having an update from the temple's vision committee relative to the survey and focus groups that you all participated in over the past few months. So thank you again for joining us to watch this video. And as always, please stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.